Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So here's another deck profile for you guys today. This time it's on Salamangreats. So I haven't actually touched this deck in quite a while simply because I tried to update it, but unfortunately my orders got lost in the mail, so I had to cancel them. Well, not cancel them, but get a refund on them and then reorder them again. And thankfully I got everything I'm looking for, so yeah. So sorry for the delay. I meant to bring this out to you guys last month, but last month was just not a good month at all, and I was barely active whatsoever, so, but I'm trying to make up for lost time. But anyway, figured today, yeah, share you guys a whole new different deck list, especially now that a lot of cards came off the ban list. Circle's at 3, Desires is back to 2, which honestly it should never gotten hit in the first place, but whatever. And honestly, I only played Desires at 2 most of the time, really. So figured I'd show you guys what I got this time around, and yeah, let's get started. So, main deck is still 40 cards, starting off with one copy of Gazelle. Naturally, it's the heart and soul of the whole deck. I'm pretty sure this card's going to come back to 2 on the next list, possibly. Because honestly, I don't think full-powered Salad's going to do anything, considering that the format is just, like, so different now. There's just a lot of good ways to combat Salad, but overall, yeah, I think Gazelle's fine to come back at 3. I mean, if Circle can, why not this, right? 3 Spinny, just so you can get into a Mirage Stylio a lot better. And, yeah. I decided to bump Foxy down to 2 simply because you're not going to be starting off with him as often anymore. Again, with Pot of Desires at 2 and people playing Parallel Exceed again, this deck's become more of a rank 4 turbo again, which is pretty nice, honestly, I'm not going to lie. But of course, you're still going to want to turbo into Mirage Stallion most of the time since, you know, you definitely want to run enough level 3s to do so. 2 Jack Jaguar, bringing this back to 2 now that Desires is actually playable in this deck again, so why not, right? As a really good extender, I decided to bring back Foul, and of course got to run the one Falco simply because Falco recurs your resources, and same thing with Jack Jaguar, so you definitely want to take full advantage of what you got, right? Next, 3 copies of Flame Buffalo. This is going to be your primary starter. The fact that you just link into Balinks, chain block it to draw the 2 cards, and the fact that you can also discard cards like Foxy, Falco, or even Spinny just to get, you know, additional value. Yeah, Flame Buffalo is just crazy good. Next, 3 copies of Parallel Exceed. As I mentioned, this card is definitely going to be a must-have again, simply because it's not only is it good for link climbing, but you can also go into Baguska, which for this format, Baguska is crazy. It's skill drain on legs, and yeah, you definitely want to take full advantage of it, because against Branded Despia, since they don't run link monsters at all, you definitely need to take advantage on floodgate-based effects more so than not, right? And just as a tech, I'm also running 1 copy of Prankertops. Not only is it a good going second beater, but it also pops cards, and I like to use this specifically against Branded as well, because if they happen to turbo out 2 copies of Masquerade, you can just special summon this card. No, you don't have to worry about the 600-point life points the first time around. Attack over 1 and then just tribute it off after and pop the second one. And yeah, your opponent's going to be in a tight spot right there. So yeah, Dino Wrestler, Prankertops, definitely something to consider, and yeah, give it a shot if you have a chance. All right, moving on to my hand traps. So my hand trap lineup's pretty self-explanatory. Still going to be running 3 copies of Ash, of course. It's recurable, which is crazy, because it is a fire monster. 3 DD Crow, definitely one of the best hand traps right now. And of course, 3 copies of Imperm. I've seen some people also run Effect Veiler. I just didn't have the room for my build, so yeah, I figured these 9 would do just fine. Alright, now for spells. Going to be playing 3 copies of Silent Mining, one of your main searchers, as well as 3 copies of Salamangreat Circle. And I also like Circle because it also protects your link monsters from actually from Nibiru. That's the card I was trying to think of. But yeah, it actually has an effect where like you can target one of your Salamangreat link monsters and it's immune to monster effects that turn. So it's really cool. And yeah, Salamangreat Circle, I'm so happy this came back to 3 because it adds a lot of consistency back to the strategy. And yeah, Salad is just such a viable option right now, so definitely something to consider. 2 Will the Salamangreat. I mean, it's Soul Charge / Monster Reborn, so why wouldn't you want to run it? And of course, 1 Sanctuary. And for my other spells, running 2 copies of Desires, as I mentioned before, and honestly, 2 is perfectly fine in my opinion, and 1 Called by the Grave. And just to go and get them out of the way, 1 of each of the trap cards, 1 Rage, 1 Roar. They're recyclable, so, and again, you're going to be using Mirage Stele quite often, so it's not going to be hard to get this out with Gazelle, and yeah, you definitely want to take full advantage of it. Alright, so for my extra deck, so quite a lot has actually changed on my extra deck. So let's go ahead and start off with the more important pieces. 3 copies of Bailings gets you the field spell. 3 Sunlight Wolf, just because, yeah, it recurs all your resources, primarily your fire monsters. and the fact that it also recovers your spell and traps as long as it was linked with itself. Now, however, because of this, I'm no longer running Heat Leo simply because Heat Leo is no longer as important as it used to be. Yeah, it bounces back room, but the catch is that, you know, you have to actually link into it, and sometimes there are just better options to go into. And yeah, like Heat Leo, again, great card, but again, there's just better options because it is, even though it is 2,300 attack points, there's going to be monsters out there that can basically combat that. And not to mention, even if you do manage to get that effect, if your opponent has a way to respond to it, it's not really worth it. So now, to replace Helio, I'm running 1 copy of Hita and 1 copy of Decode Talker Heatsoul. Now, Heatsoul is crazy good. I like Hita simply because for the follow-up effect, but Decode Talker Heatsoul is so good. It basically has the same effect as the original Decode Talker, where it gains 500 attack points for each monster it points to, which is honestly not hard. But the fact that it's a quick effect, where you can pay 1,000 life points to draw 1 card, yeah, that's actually pretty broken. So, like, the fact that you could draw a card each turn, yeah, it just screams a lot of advantage right there. And also, if your life points are 2,000 or less, you can apply this effect. Banish this card from the field, and if you do, special summon 1 Link 3 or lower Cyberus monster from your extra deck, except itself. And of course, you can only use this effect once per turn. So yeah, it's a really good way just to get any Link 3 or below monster out. So a good way to get Sunlight Wolf out, or even Hita, as I mentioned before. Because again, Hita just provides a lot of good follow-up, and yeah, that's my sole reason for running this. Alright, so moving on to my other cards. I'm going to be playing 1 Splash Mage, which is actually going to be, it sees a lot more play, more so now, because of the fact that you're going to be playing Decode Talker Heatsoul, because it requires 2+ monsters of different attributes, whereas Splash Mage, you just need 2 Cyberus monsters. 1 Update Jammer, you know, for the Access Code or Transcode Talker of TK, which comes to our next card, Transcode, and of course 1 Access Code. And that pretty much runs out our links. For my Xyz lineup, still 1 Mirage Stallion. Like I said, you just need 1. 1 Bagooska, which is really strong right now. And against any Graveyard Reliance strategy like Olich, you know, Abyss Dweller, definitely something to consider. And for my side deck, it's pretty self-explanatory. 3 Lancia against Branded, against Olich. Any deck that revolves some form of banishment, Lancia is going to be the card to go for. Same thing with Context C, you know, also strong against Branded, or just like any deck that requires like any of these monsters, or any of these extra deck monsters that turbo like out so fast. Heck, Dragon Link actually struggles against this card since they do a lot of link summoning and a lot of synchro summoning. So yeah, Context C is a little tricky. I mean, level 6 isn't a hard level to work with, especially if you're doing synchros, but if they've required like specific requirements, then yeah, it could be a little, it's just annoying really. 3 Twin Twister, I'm sorry, I was about to say Cosmic Cyclone. But yeah, decided to opt for Twin Twister simply because, you know, the synergies that it provides. The fact that you can discard Foxy, I'm sorry, and then using its additional graveyard effect to pop a card. So yeah, Twin Twister is pretty good. 3 Fragrance for any spell heavy strategy, primarily Sky Strikers, since I don't like to deal with that Mystic Mind card whatsoever. And 3 Rivalry the Warlords, which actually does come up sometimes. I was thinking of changing this out, but I'm experimenting with it for right now. I know it's good against Branded because, you know, they play multiple types instead of just 1 single type. But again, just kind of like dabbling a bit. But yeah, well, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, I will catch you guys again next time.